March 30, 2022 began as an ordinary Wednesday at a Circle K gas station in Pensacola, Florida. Employees went about their morning routines, restocking shelves, brewing fresh coffee, preparing for the lunch rush. Cashier Joey Helck, a 32-year-old single mother of two, chatted with regular customers while ringing up purchases. The security cameras captured everything in crisp detail, the comings and goings of normal people living normal lives. But in just 90 seconds, this mundane scene would transform into a living nightmare when Betty Jean F. walked through those glass doors, carrying a red plastic gas can and a book of matches. This isn't just a story about an arson attack. It's a case study in sudden violence, untreated mental illness, and the terrifying question: how well do we really know the people around us? The surveillance footage, police interrogations, and court documents reveal a crime so brutal it shocked even veteran homicide detectives. And perhaps most disturbing of all, the attacker's complete lack of remorse as she watched her victim burn alive. The attack. Expanded details. At precisely 3:28 p.m., the Circle K's front door camera recorded Betty Jean F. entering the store. She wore a black hoodie with yellow zipper detailing, an outfit witnesses would later recall vividly. In her right hand, she carried a red 2-gallon gas can she had just filled at pump number 3 outside. Store employees noted she seemed agitated but not dangerous as she paced near the snack aisle for approximately 2 minutes. At 3:30 p.m., Betty approached register number 2, where Joey Helck was completing a transaction. Without uttering a single word, Betty suddenly appended the gas can, dousing Joey's face, hair, and upper body in flammable liquid. The security footage shows Joey instinctively raising her hands in defense as gasoline splashed into her eyes, temporarily blinding her. Before Joey could react further, Betty struck a match from a book she pulled from her pocket and flicked it directly at Joey's gasoline-soaked scrubs. The ignition was instantaneous. A fireball erupted with such force that the heat wave shattered a nearby display case. Joey's synthetic uniform melted into her skin as flames engulfed her from the waist up. The store's audio recording captures her blood-curdling screams as she stumbled backward, her arms flailing wildly in a futile attempt to extinguish the inferno consuming her body. The stench of burning hair and flesh quickly permeated the entire building. A heroic customer, later identified as Army veteran Marcus Green, reacted immediately. He grabbed an industrial-sized mop bucket filled with dirty water and hurled its contents at Joey. While this extinguished the flames, the damage was already catastrophic. Paramedics arriving on scene documented third-degree burns covering 32% of Joey's body, including her entire face, neck, and both arms. Her eyelids had fused shut from the heat, and sections of her scalp had burned away completely. While Joey lay moaning in agony on the linoleum floor, surveillance cameras captured Betty Jean F. walking out the front door at a leisurely pace. She paused briefly to toss her gasoline-splattered hoodie into a trash can near the gas pumps, a move detectives would later recognize as her only attempt to conceal evidence. The timestamp shows that just 8 minutes after committing the attack, Betty entered a Lucky 7 convenience store 3 blocks away. Lucky 7's security footage reveals Betty purchasing a single Fireball cinnamon whiskey shooter. The clerk who served her testified that Betty showed no signs of distress, though he did notice a strong gasoline odor. When asked by police why she bought alcohol immediately after the attack, Betty would later shrug and say, "I was thirsty." This callous disregard for her victim's suffering would become a recurring theme in the investigation. Meanwhile, back at the Circle K, paramedic units worked frantically to stabilize Joey. The Escambia County Fire Rescue Report describes how Joey's burned skin sloughed off in sheets when they attempted to start an IV. Due to the severity of her injuries, she was airlifted via medical helicopter to the University of South Alabama Burn Center. Doctors placed her in a medically induced coma upon arrival, noting in her chart that she had inhalation injuries consistent with breathing superheated air and full-thickness burns to bilateral hands and face. The investigation. The Escambia County Sheriff's Department launched a massive manhunt within minutes of the attack. Crucial witness statements came from 2 Circle K customers who had interacted with Betty just before the assault. One noted her distinctive blue glitter toenail polish visible through her flip-flops, a detail that would prove vital. Another recalled seeing Betty talking to herself angrily near the coffee station. At 4:17 p.m., less than an hour after the attack, deputies located Betty sitting on the porch of a known crack house just 0.6 miles from the crime scene. Body camera footage shows the moment of arrest, with Betty offering no resistance but making bizarre statements like, "Y'all gonna take me to Disney World or what?" When asked directly if she had set someone on fire, she smirked and replied, "I dunno. Did you see me do it?" In the patrol car en route to jail, the dash cam recorded Betty singing an off-key rendition of Amazing Grace before suddenly laughing hysterically. The transporting officer noted in his report, "Subject shows zero concern for victim's condition. Appears to find situation amusing." This behavior would foreshadow the disturbing attitude Betty displayed during subsequent interrogations. The interrogation. The full interrogation video, which runs nearly 6 hours, reveals a deeply disturbed individual vacillating between incoherent rambling and shockingly lucid discussions about the attack. At one point, Betty leaned across the table and asked the detectives, "Is she burnt black? Like chocolate?" When told Joey might die from her injuries, Betty responded, "Cool," while picking at her glitter nail polish. Detectives uncovered Betty's extensive mental health history during questioning. Records showed she had been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in 2007 after being found naked in a Walmart screaming about government microchips. Her psychiatric files contained multiple notations about homicidal ideation when non-compliant with medications. Most disturbingly, a 2019 police report documented an eerily similar incident where Betty threw a rock at a convenience store clerk's head while yelling, "Burn in hell." The interrogation took a bizarre turn when Betty began speaking to an imaginary person in the corner of the room. At various points, she claimed the voices told her to attack Joey, insisted she was actually saving Joey from the lizard people, demanded to see photos of Joey's burns for proof they were real, asked if she could keep Joey's melted skin as a souvenir. Due to her severe mental illness, Betty spent 14 months in a state psychiatric facility before being deemed competent to stand trial. Forensic psychologists determined that while she understood the charges against her, she lacked any capacity for remorse. In February 2024, she accepted a plea deal for attempted first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Joey Helck's recovery has been nothing short of miraculous but remains ongoing. She has undergone 17 reconstructive surgeries to date, including experimental skin grafting using fish scales. The psychological trauma runs even deeper. Her children developed severe anxiety after seeing their mother's disfigured face for the first time. In her victim impact statement, Joey revealed, "I used to love sunny days. Now I can't go outside without sunscreen because my new skin burns so easily. That woman didn't just take my face, she took my whole life." The Circle K arson case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about mental health care in America. Betty Jean F. had been in and out of psychiatric facilities for 15 years, yet still fell through the cracks of a broken system. Meanwhile, Joey Helck's suffering highlights how one moment of violence can ripple outward, destroying families and traumatizing entire communities. Perhaps most chilling is what this case reveals about human nature itself. The surveillance footage shows ordinary people buying snacks just feet away from where Joey burned, a stark reminder that tragedy can strike anywhere, at any time. As you go about your day to day, look around at the strangers nearby, the person pumping gas next to you, the cashier ringing up your coffee. How well do we really know anyone? This has been an in-depth examination of one of Florida's most disturbing attacks. Remember to stay aware of your surroundings, trust your instincts, and never take for granted the fragile normalcy of everyday life. Because as Joey Helck learned in the most horrific way possible, everything can change in the time it takes to strike a match.